Welcome to the Stack of Stats podcast. I'm Pam Maldonado, joined by my girl Kelly in Vegas, and we are previewing Week 12 of the NFL for our contest bets. Kelly, before we get started with anything, we're gonna do a little hello. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kelly in Vegas. Happy birthday to you. Now you can make a digital wish and blow out your digital candle.
I got a wish. It's a good one.
Yay!
Thank you for making me blush right out of the gate. Was not expecting that.
This is a candle, by the way, not a cupcake. This entire thing. It's a cupcake and it is fucking amazing and it smells like pumpkin spice and
I was gonna say it looks delicious from here, so clearly I didn't get enough to eat.
Well, happy birthday. It is Thanksgiving Day. We're recording this on Thursday morning, but her birthday is on Friday. Let me blow the out of the way. But I just wanted to say happy birthday. Since it is Thanksgiving Day, I want to say that I'm grateful for you. I am thankful for you for wanting to be in a contest with me. I feel like every year I learn a lot from you. I've learned more from the NFL, and it's largely contributed to you. Also, thankful because you are one of the OGs, not one of the OGs. You're the OG of women in sports betting, and now there's a bunch of us, and so I am appreciative for all of the work that you did many years ago to bring us to where we are now. So
now
thank
you're
you.
gonna make me cry before the show, Pam. Super crazy week for me. Appreciate you taking the time. And listen, Pam, this has been really great for me as well. I think a lot of people don't quite realize that I've said it on this show. I've said it on every other show. I don't like to watch the news, whether it's sports or anything else. I like to formulate my own opinions, and I think that sometimes when talking to certain people, they can kind of skew that. But I like the dynamic that you and I have because you come with certain statistics to back it up. You come with certain angles. You have different people that you speak to that are different than the people I do. And I think it's just been a really great experience for both of us because we do share certain things and then other things we are vastly different on. So as much as you are thankful for me, I am equally as thankful for you because this has been a really fun time. Now, let's go 5-0.
Let's go 5-0, something that we've only done once here in the last 2 seasons. But right out of the gate, just as a reminder of what it is we are doing 5 against the spread contest picks for the NFL. It is week 12. Automatically in is Kelly's best bet. Automatically in is my best bet. Both of our best bets hit last week, which is great. I was in Vegas, so watching the Chargers cash was awesome. It was sweet in the sports book. You can tell the entire world of the sports book, at least, had the Chiefs money line because when Mahomes marched on downfield like Mahomes does and put up that touchdown, it just erupted. And I missed that electric atmosphere. So it was really nice to be around that.
There's another difference that we have, Pam. I love when the sports book is silent. It's just like that sweet, silent victory. Because typically I'm on the opposite side of them. And the Chargers gave Patrick Mahomes too much time. Go figure. He has yet to lose an AFC West road game. It's crazy.
My mistake was like, oh, I'm going to do the Chargers money line.
Oh,
don't. It's Mahomes. Don't do that.
I sprinkled.
Would
you like to know what I sprinkled on? Let me tell you guys this. So I was really feeling last week's card. Was in Arizona for a wedding. So there was some, extracurriculars going on. I know that's irresponsible to say, but I was like, you know what? I feel good about this week's card. I'm going to do a little 3-teamer: Colts, Jets, Chargers. All 3 on the money line. All 3 last 90-second dagger to your heart and soul. So that was a good way to finish my week, I guess I should say.
I will not bet the Jets. I will not bet the Jets. I will not bet the Jets. Fucking sake, my God. Talk about eruption and electric atmosphere.
I was on an airplane during that game.
Thank God you didn't watch it in real life.
Well, I was watching a couple of other games because, certain airlines will have different channels you can watch, right? No problem. And I'm watching the Colts game, and I'm doing okay. And I get this text that comes through, and I'm like, what? This is not good. And, I don't know why they didn't kick it out of bounds. I watched the replay. There was a block in the back. There was a lot of things we could argue. But why? I don't get it.
I don't know. I will not bet the Jets. Let us move on, and it is week 12. So automatically in is Kelly's best bet, automatically in is my best bet, and then together we come up with the other three. Kelly, this is going to be the least prepared that I have ever been. It is Thanksgiving. I don't give a fuck. I just woke up. Let's just knock this out. 5-0. Think long, think wrong. This is going to be the easiest think because I've done like nothing. So let's go. Your best bet. What do you got?
All right, I'm taking your Jacksonville Jaguars. Now I know this seems crazy because they're 3-7, but this team has outscored their opponents by 11 points this year. Plus, Jacksonville's off a bye. Listen, this is a Baltimore team that we've seen kind of go through some of these motions here, especially when playing less than desirable teams. I don't want to bag on your team, but listen, this team has led by double digits in every single one of their games. Yet they tend to lose games. So would anybody be surprised if Jacksonville won this game? I'm looking at this going, all right, do not overthink this. Lamar Jackson's without his best offensive lineman, his left tackle. They have rushed for a ton of games, right? So they're keeping the ball on the ground. They're not really letting Lamar air it out. Jacksonville's defense, this is going to be a knockout, drag out. I think this looks like a 17-14 game, Pam. 21-20, like something just really snooze fest. There's going to be some weather in Jacksonville as well on Sunday, so keep an eye on that. I know this is Thursday. I am not a meteorologist, but just something to keep circled if you're looking towards the total here.
So I don't have any disagreement with that at all. I get to root for my Jags, something that I don't get to do all season. And it is just heartbreaking. So for that reason, I'm actually going to end up wearing my sneakers then on Sunday. And now I have something to root for. Woo! That's why I'm wearing the blue today. I was also wearing the blue because it was going to be correlated to what my best bet was going to be, and it was going to be the Chargers. But in one contest, it's -3. In this contest, it's 4.5. I don't like that.
No, I don't either. I'll be honest with you. That seems very weird. Now, typically the contest lines
that is such a drastic difference.
Wednesday and Thursday, but they both came out on Tuesday this week. So they're taking a stand.
One contest came out, the one that you and I are in came out on Tuesday, and then the other one that I'm in on solo, that one just came out yesterday at like 4 p.m. my time. So they came out at the same time that they always do. They didn't bump it up earlier. So that's why the line is probably so drastically different. So regardless, I was going to do the Chargers. That was going to be my best bet. I cannot take it anymore at 4.5 for the contest line. I like the NFL the NFL is so dang precise. So if I say I like it at 3 and the line is now 3.5, I'm going to kick myself in the ass for that little hook. And now it's from 3 to 4.5. That is a drastic difference.
It's wild because I just pulled up the odds screen, Pam. And when I did my shows yesterday, the line was 4.5. The line is 3 now. Somebody must have really liked the Cardinals. I'm going to say that.
So, well, great. I'm not doing the Chargers anymore, but just to briefly touch up as to why is because the reason why I backed the Chargers last week was because Justin Herbert was getting his weapons back. He had Keenan Allen, he had Mike Williams. Clearly, it came into fruition because of that first drive out of the gate, downfield, like 7 plays, touchdown. It looked so easy. And it was because he had all 3 players on his roster, Eckler, Williams, and then Allen. Mike Williams is back on the injury report. You saw him limp off the field last week, but at least he does have Allen back to complement with Eckler. So I just believe it was an easy pick for me at -3, going with the better quarterback, going with the better offense. I was choosing that all day. 4.5, I can no longer make this my best bet. So here I am on the fly, and I am instead going to go with the Seahawks at home to the Raiders at -3.5. And the reason why this is a little bit scary for me because the Raiders, I want to root for the underdogs, and they are clearly the underdogs of the 2022 season. A lot of heartbreak, a lot of change, a lot of emotion going on in that locker room. But I also really do love what the Seahawks are doing, both offensively and defensively. In the first half of the season, the Seahawks were holding opponents to 31 points per game. And now in the second half of the season, they're holding opponents to 17 points per game. That is a drastic difference. Something is going on with this defense. They are gelling and jiving together. They have definitely upped their quarterback pressure. That's come to fruition. They were competitive against the Bucs. They've had really great wins and really competitive losses. And I really love Geno Smith. I'm going to be on the hill as everybody else is that He is a very capable quarterback. I'm saying that Geno Smith is a top 10 quarterback in the league. I think he has more than proven his capabilities. And more often than not, what we see from the Seahawks offense is that the wide receivers are just like dropping balls, but it has nothing to do with Geno Smith. He is throwing dimes, and then now it's on his receivers to make some of those plays. Other than that, I kind of really don't have anything. Like I said, I'm not really prepared for this day. I'm more of like,
Guys, I really threw a wrench into Pam's morning. She said, "Hey, do you want to film on Thanksgiving?" I'm like, "Absolutely not. I've got all these things to do, food to prep, all this stuff." No, I just got put in charge of wine. So this morning I woke up super early and I was like, let's bang this out so I can have my birthday off work, which never gets to happen. So I appreciate Pam being a good sport and saying, all right, I'll see you in 45 minutes, because I don't know if I would have done the same for her. But I'm with you. This is a Raiders team I had in teasers last week, Pam, because I thought divisional game, Broncos can't score. They went in and beat the Broncos. And I thought maybe that was one of those kind of turning points, if you will. But man, Seattle off a loss, 7-1 against the spread off a straight up loss is
nice.
really a team at home I'd like to back. Vegas still has all of these problems. I was just actually looking while I was waiting for you to do the Zoom meeting. I was looking at the look ahead lines again because I took a screenshot to start the year. It's a big graphic that one of the sports books in Las Vegas puts out. This line was Raiders -3. That's how down Vegas was on the Seattle Seahawks this year, or maybe too high on the Raiders. And they've got a lot of problems, right? Between new head coach and Derek Carr. I don't want to bag on him. I don't think it's all his fault, but there was a lot of expectations with Devontae Adams going to Las Vegas, and it's just not there. So I agree with you. I like Seattle here.
And I also just like that Seattle definitely has more of a run game to complement with the Geno Smith passing offense. I know that the Raiders have Josh Jacobs, but Kenneth Walker III has just been more effective as of late. They still also have Rashad Penny, and Geno Smith himself is a mobile quarterback. So getting them at home off a loss. I loved the under in this game. And it was because of the Seattle defense should do well against the Raiders' lackluster offense as of right now. And so because the Raiders have zero quarterback pressure, they are dead last in the league for applying quarterback pressure. That should really help Geno Smith's case here. So I'm just going to stick with the Seahawks -3.5 at home. So automatically, and we have Kelly's best bet of the Jaguars +4, and then automatically in is my best bet of the Seahawks -3.5 at home to the Raiders. So then the other three, so can't do math when Thursday, the other options that we got, then I'm just gonna roll down the list. If we could have done this for Thanksgiving, I wanted to rush it, but then I was like, I feel too rushed. Like, I did 5 days of work in 2 days and for college and NFL. So I was like, I can't think my brain for Thanksgiving Day games. I would have liked the Patriots because of that pass rush against Kirk Cousins. But instead, let's go ahead and go through the list. Broncos, Panthers. You like anything?
I tease the Panthers, Pam. The Panthers are kind of just one of those teams that nobody really wants to back right now, but who are the Broncos to be laying points on the road? As a Broncos fan, this offense is gross. So I did take them up to +8, which is obviously drastically different than the +2 contest line. So I would like to pass. I'm not thinking that the Panthers are going to win this game, and +2 is pretty much asking them to do that.
Contest line is 2.5. I also tease the Panthers. Next, Falcons, Commanders.
You know, it's tough. A lot of people liked Houston last week, and we kind of touched on it for a second. Commanders just went in there, handled business. Falcons, I can see why people like the Falcons this week. I am not one of them, but I could see where situationally you can look and say, all right, here's this Falcons team that is overachieved all year long. We've seen some good stuff from Marcus Mariota. Will he be able to run against the Commanders? And that's kind of my big question mark here. I'm going to pass on that one as well.
Well, I love Washington in this game, and it's because this defense has largely stepped up ever since Taylor Heineke has come behind center. In the last 5 games, so just some nuggets. I'm going to heavily rely on some Warren Sharp nuggets for this little prep since I did nothing. So some things to correlate. Washington is allowing only 24 yards per drive in the past 5 games. That is the second best in the league. This defense has stepped up. They are not letting anybody get downfield, much less put up touchdowns. And you're talking about an Atlanta Falcons team that is a one-dimensional rush-only offense. What's Washington's best defense against the run? And we saw it come to fruition against the best rushing team in the league in the Philadelphia Eagles. And now you're saying that Atlanta is going to be more competitive than the Eagles. I don't know what Mariota, if he, quarterback for the Falcons, if he can throw it. We don't really see it.
Yeah,
So
I was going to say we haven't seen it. We've seen him every once in a while. He's able to get the ball downfield, but nothing. I've yet to see a big play.
yeah, so I love the under on this because I would assume that Washington is going to handle business against the Falcons. I like the 4.5. I like Washington to win. The 4.5 is a weird number for a home. I don't know what to make of that really, but I would definitely lean to the Washington side. So let's go ahead and go through some other options. All right, what do we got? Falcons, Commanders, Bucks, Browns. What do you got?
Oh,
You all right?
No, I'm dying. Just drank some Celsius down the wrong pipe. Don't mind me. This complete and utter show has been terrible, Pam. I'm so sorry. I'm dying. You're tired. We're not pressed. No, all jokes aside. Look, this looks like a trap line, right? Cleveland off a beat down, if you will. I mean, they were kind of competitive with the Browns there for a little bit. 3.5. Everybody's going to be on the Bucks. All of a sudden, the Bucks are leading the charge. Tom Brady's divorce is finalized, and they're going to win the NFC South. Like that's a terrible synopsis, but it's true. Maybe he's starting to show glimpses of his former self, right? Bucks defense has started to step up as well. I think there was a locker room call out I heard, but we'll see. I mean, Josh Allen, was he contained last week with the Browns defense? Sure. But how are you going to, I mean, you got to put a ton of pressure on Brady here. I'm going to pass, but that's just because I'm not sold on this Tampa Bay team going on the road and being able to win. And then Cleveland just doesn't win games. So,
well, I love the Bucks in this.
Pass for me.
I love the Bucks because last week Nick Chubb for the Cleveland Browns. Are you all right, girl?
I'm literally dying at this point. What in the world? Okay.
Well, I like the Bucks in this position because last week for Nick Chubb for the Cleveland Browns, we saw him absolutely get dead stopped in his tracks. 14 carries, 19 yards. That is not something that you see from a Nick Chubb. And now he's going up against still what is a Bucks really good run defense. So if he struggled last week, the offense seems to be not clicking as of late for the Cleveland Browns. Now you're going up against a Bucks defense who's won back-to-back games. They're moving and grooving. I like the Bucks in this spot. Great, let's move on. Okay. Man, we're running out of options already. Bengals, Titans, what do you got?
I like the Titans here. This is a Tennessee team at home under Mike Vrabel that is excellent as an underdog. They have been one of my favorite teams to back in this position for probably last 4 or 5 years, Pam. This was very close in contention to being my best bet. I need to see the defense step up. They are a little banged up. Cincinnati looked absolutely great last week. They've actually looked great for several weeks now, right? Yeah, they've done really, really well. And we'll see. I ended up not giving this out as my best bet because I want to see what the Titans are capable of doing. I did tease them +2 up to 8. So that was kind of my easy way out of just taking basically Titans money line. But I do like them here in this position. Got to feed Derrick Henry. That is always the key here, right? So we'll see how this one ends up playing out. But I have a very strong lean, if you will, towards the Titans.
I can get on board with this one as well because Tennessee, at least they have a top 10 pass rush and Joe Burrow still has a terrible offensive line. Despite him winning games last week against the Steelers, also playing against CJ Watt, obviously the best pass rusher in the league, still able to get it done. That's my only concern is that he's still finding ways to win now. Without Joe Mixon, and now Jamar Chase is supposed to be back in the lineup this week, looking towards like he could be playing. The Titans have the 30th ranked secondary in the league. That's my one concern is that if he does get Jamar Chase back.
Something that I was going to add that I was looking for when I stopped talking. Don't forget who played in the wild card matchup last year. That's right, Cincinnati, Tennessee. So something to keep in mind, I know you cannot quantify revenge, but
Revenge.
I bet the Titans have had this game circled.
Okay. If you want to plug it in, I'm down to do that because that was one of my options. That was on my long
Yeah,
list.
let's do it.
All right. What is that line? It is 1.5.
Okay.
Great. Let's do it. Okay. So we are going to do Kelly's best bet of Jaguars +4 versus the Ravens. I'm doing Seahawks -3.5.
And now I'm going to rely on you for the rest of this because I don't have any big opinions. The more I started looking at Washington, the more I can see why you do like them here. Ron Rivera is really good about building upon wins, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this team does really well off consecutive wins, 6-1 against the spread under Ron Rivera. So something
Four
to
and a half
consider
is just
there
a weird
too.
number. I don't
It
know
is.
what to do
It
with
is a
that.
very weird number. I would agree with that. And like I said, I know some really sharp guys that like the other side, but I do not like the other side. And as you mentioned, that was my concern: is are the Falcons going to be able to run?
They
I don't
don't
think they
have a
are.
pass rush. They don't have a passing game. You don't have they don't have a defense. And now you're going up against a team that has all of that.
So also, again, Thursday, Sunday's different, but as of right now, 60% chance of rain, 15-mile-an-hour winds. So this is something's got to give here, right? Are the Commanders going to be able to run the ball if they can't throw downfield? And not 15-mile-an-hour winds is anything super significant, but kind
Right.
of wonder that as well.
I think they can. Antonio Gibson has been doing a swell job. They're not maybe as potent as the Falcons offense with Cordero Patterson and company, but I mean, they are still more than capable. They're league average right now in rushing yards, so they should be able to contend. And if you're talking about Falcons, if it is rainy and it becomes slippery and you're a run only team, well, then that becomes turnover possibilities for both sides of, and who's going to be better at takeaways and defense. Washington.
I want to see, is Chase Young going to be back?
The
Have we
last
heard?
an article that I read yesterday was that he was hush hush. That was the quote. He's
Can't we
hush
just
hush
get
on his
honest?
involvement with the team on Sunday.
Why can't we just get honesty? I just want them to stop lying to me. That's all I want.
You're talking about like the world's like billion-dollar business. Well, tell us the truth, guys. Okay.
I know, but it's even the same with college. Like it's same. Like I just be honest with me. But what are you gonna do? I get it. You don't want your opponents to know, but that was one thing that I did have written down in my notes as far as if he's back. I think that would really rejuvenate that defense.
Jeez, yeah. Let me
I
see.
just looked and I still got nothing. Last thing was 2 days ago.
Yeah. 15 hours
Falcons
ago. He was limited
Falcons were like,
participant on Wednesday. Yeah.
okay,
I think he could play. He's
all right.
questionable. Questionable always lends towards playing.
I agree with that.
So then I would love that. Do you want to circle that in or lock it up?
Yep, we're
And
putting it in. We do really good whenever we have a nice blend of dogs and
I don't care to talk about the Bears and the Jets.
no. Bye.
Skip. We'll talk about
Bye.
that. Seahawks is already up there.
I don't know if
Chargers.
I'm still over that Bears loss, Pam. I know I need to get over things, but I'm just like, God.
I mean, all of it's just ugly. I'm so. I will not bet the Jets. I will not bet the Jets.
No.
They would be winning games. This would be like a Super Bowl team if they didn't have Zach Wilson.
Mike White, what? I mean, I don't. You texted me yesterday. Why are they picking him over Joe Flacco, the veteran? I don't get
What
it.
happened to Flacco? Like you want to talk about a team that's going to win you games now? It is Flacco. He has a freaking Super Bowl, man. He's experienced. He's a veteran. I know he's old as fuck, but I mean, shit. he gets. They were winning games at the beginning of the season with him.
I'm pretty sure Joe Flacco and I are the same age, but we'll keep that under wraps.
Okay. Well, no. Okay. Well, for the league, for the NFL, he's old. Ask Tom Brady. I mean, he's starting to feel the growing
Tom's
pains this
very
season
old.
too. All right, Chargers Cardinals. We'll skip that because it's 4.5. Or should we consider it? Because I did love the Chargers. No, you are on the Cardinals. Never mind. We were split
I'm
on
not
that.
necessarily on the Cardinals. I understand what Cliff's capabilities are. I ended up I teased the Niners on Monday night, and when it got to 10, I'm like, all right, fine. I'll take Colt McCoy. I know what I'm getting with him at 10, and try to go for the middle, and that just wasn't the case. The Cardinals are not a good team. Kyler Murray still questionable, obviously, for returning this week. I love the Chargers. I think this Chargers team is really good when healthy. And that's
Yeah.
my biggest problem is they're still not healthy. And, Justin Herbert can't do it alone.
Right. So then Rams Chiefs, it's a 14.5 point spread. Rams, we are not having Stafford. It's
Yeah.
John. Is it even Wolford? Is he even playing?
John Wolford.
John Wolford. John
Yeah.
Wolford against Patrick Mahomes.
I'm so mad at him. He hurt Cooper Kupp, which happens every single year. If I draft somebody in the first round, they automatically get hurt. So I was happy that Cooper at least made it to week 11, or was it 10? Either way.
Even if it is Wolford, they still do have a really great defense for the Rams. I would lean to the Rams, actually. I don't know. 14.5 in NFL just confuses me.
I'd love to see what the Chiefs' record is coming off like an AFC West win like that. Typically, how do they bounce back? What happens in the next week? I haven't seen anything like that pop up on my radar. But man, the Rams. You want to know what game I like, and you're going to be like, absolutely not. And I liked it at 7, and of course I bet it's 6.5 in the contest.
Packers.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I was this close to betting him at +7. I blinked and it went to 6.5, and I was like, no. Look, there's not a lot of great things to say about this Green Bay team, right? I bet on them a couple weeks ago. I took the 4.5 with Dallas at home. Look, this is just a play on what we've seen historically. Aaron Rodgers in prime time. Aaron Rodgers as an underdog, 10-1 straight up as an underdog when Packers are coming off a loss. I understand Philadelphia. I bet against them last week. Super upset that the Colts, frankly, probably got outcoached, depending on how you would like to argue that. But I'm not as high on this Eagles team. I mean, look, they overcame a 10-point deficit last week over Indianapolis. This team is just kind of starting to see some regression, if you will. And the Packers, they're all but dead. They really are. I mean, they're not dead, but they're dead. So that's my only concern is, what do they have to play for? Does Aaron Rodgers still have something to prove? I'm not sure.
The only I don't mind that. I initially leaned that way, but I ended up making this an underplay for one of the content pieces that I did, and it's because I mean the game script is out on how to beat or how to at least contend with Philadelphia, and that's running the ball. The Eagles in the last 3 games, they've allowed 3 running backs at least 84 rushing yards. If you can keep to the ground, then you're more than likely going to have success against this team. My problem for the Packers is that Aaron Jones, he's a fine running back, but he has only one 100-yard rushing game on the road this season. The other 3 were at home. He has a pretty huge home versus away split, 500 yards at home compared to only 250 away. That's kind of like a big drastic change. So is it because of the problems that Aaron Rodgers and the Packers were having early in the season, and now they're trying to maybe find a groove again? Just when I thought they did against the Cowboys, they laid a stinker the following week. So I'm just or previously, and then they crushed against the Cowboys. So I'm just like, what do you do with this team?
That's what you nailed it, right? So they've been an underdog a couple of times this year, and I've been on them against Tampa Bay, against Dallas. I feel like this is the team. I've said it before, the NFC North is the conference that I focus most on. I've got family in Chicago. My boyfriend's a Packers fan. I did Minneapolis radio forever and Wager Talks in Detroit. And so just by geographic location, this is the division that I just started keeping the best tabs on. And that's kind of how I feel. I feel like this is a total Aaron Rodgers spot. Now, that doesn't mean the Packers defense. What I need the Packers defense to do, if we're going to take them, is to be able to stop the run and force Jalen Hurts to throw the ball downfield. Right. Can they do that? I don't know. If it was a 7, I would definitely take it. Oh, other side note from my Eagles producer yesterday, because I told him, he was like, what do you think? And I said, I basically said those things. He goes, Kelly, did you know the Eagles have yet to beat Aaron Rodgers in Philadelphia?
Well, lock it up.
Okay. Done
Let's
deal.
lock it up. Let's lock it up.
All right.
Lock it up. You lock it up.
No, you lock it up.
You lock it up.
So am I going to see you in
I
Dallas
love that you get it.
now that we've locked it up?
Well, then that's it. Well, there's no other option. The other options that we have are the Saints and the Niners, and then the Steelers and the Colts, which I actually would probably lean to the Colts, to be honest. I love the Steelers at home, and now you put them on the road. It is still a wonky offense, and the defense is there, but maybe maybe Jeff Saturday is a pretty good coach.
I am very frustrated about that last series for the Eagles. Obviously, I did have Colts money line, so that was just one of those things. I think, yeah, Colts have proven they can win in lower scoring games, right? That's just what they do, or at least cover. They in their losses, they don't score points. Let's see, what else do I have? I didn't have a big opinion here. Is it 2.5 in the contest or 3?
It is 2.5.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I
Well,
can
with
get on board.
the
I can get on
Packers, you're
board with the
getting a
Colts
full
here.
7.
Oh,
And
they
with
are getting a 7?
yeah.
Oh. Okay. Now I'm in a glass case of emotion.
I'm fine with sticking with Packers.
Okay, let's do it.
7. I'm not asking them to win, just cover.
Same.
All right. Well, then those are our 5. It's Jaguars +4 against the Ravens. Seahawks +3.5. Not +3.5. Jaguars +4 against the Ravens. Seahawks a -3.5 against the Raiders. Titans +1.5 over the Bengals. Washington -4.5 over the Falcons. And the Packers +7 against the Eagles. I actually don't mind this card. And for us not really even preparing and it's Thanksgiving and you rush everything. Hey, let's go 5-0 by accident. Wouldn't that be something?
I will say, I had to do a lot of Thanksgiving prep and I didn't love a lot. I did get the Lions at +10. Outside of that, the Jags are the only other play I made, +4. So it's just one of those weeks where last week I liked a lot. This week I like a little.
Exactly. Last week I was in Vegas and I absolutely loved the Chargers. This week I was like so glad I'm not in Vegas this week because I wouldn't be betting anything right now. I don't know. There's like nothing that I even like a teaser. I'm like, I like this teaser. So I don't really feel strong about it. Like there's just nothing that I love this week in the NFL. There's definitely some that I like for love for college. NFL not so much.
All right. Well, when you end the show, tell me what you love in college because there's nothing I loved in college either.
Great. It's all the teams that nobody knows about. Those are the ones where I find value most. Well, those are our 5 against the spread contest picks for the NFL. We're going Jaguars +4 to the Ravens, Seahawks -3.5 to the Raiders, Titans +1.5 to the Bengals, Washington -4.5 to the Falcons, and the Packers +7 to the Eagles. Do make sure to follow Kelly in Vegas on Twitter at KellyInVegas. You can follow me at Twitter at Pamela M35, and do make sure to check out all of her content at Barstool and My Stuff at Yahoo. And subscribe to this video. Let us know what you think about our picks. Until then, happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and we will catch you next week.